Hello, everyone. How is everybody today? It's just me. I don't have a guest. I plan on doing a show a month alone. It's important for me to have guests because there's a lot of really important stories to get out and a lot of people that have really good healing modalities and different techniques. And my platform when I chose to do this show, I wanted to, spread the love, uplift others, and get messages out there that need to be heard and really get the awareness out. I'm going to see who we have on with my show being at 4 o'clock. Hello, Ruth. Thank you for being here. And Erica. Hi, Mary. Excited to see you're live today. Well, I'm excited to have you here. And Kristen, thank you so very much. Happy to have you all here and all the people that are watching on Rumble, Twitter, on my Facebook. I welcome you all. I will be going on vacation for the last 2 weeks in July, so there won't be a show. I'm going to go spend some time with my son and my grandchildren. Both my grandchildren have their birthdays at the end of July. And since I'm speaking of children, I really want to talk about a topic today that is not very, it's very, so I went to see last Thursday. I went to see the movie Sound of Freedom. Well, I'm going to have some notes. I'm going to refer to them. So the subject is human trafficking and mommy slavery, which is from children. And my one, I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. I'm having some internet funky slowdown trouble. So it's although I was aware of this hideous crime of child trafficking and the pedophilia that goes on in this country all over the world, it really, I didn't really grasp the magnitude until I saw the show, until I saw the movie. And it was so well portrayed. Again, it was so well portrayed in the movie. Angel Studios did a fabulous job telling this story. So I really wanted to share this because Angel Studios got their name because of angel investors. And if you don't know what angel investors are, it's individuals like you and I, or individual companies, people that, donate. They're not backed by Hollywood. They don't have all of the advertising and the backing and, all the things that big Hollywood productions have. And there was also companies, different big companies that I don't really want to say the names, put it out there, because I like having my show and I don't want to get kicked off with censorship. So they were trying to stop this from actually even getting out there. So it's by word of mouth, and it's by people like you and I and Goldylocks Productions and Tiffany and us sharing this, spreading the word, putting it out there. It blew my mind. And after watching that, I was thinking, how can I help? There are so many things. What can I do to get this awareness out? So I decided to take a portion of the show today and really talk about it and get it out there. It really, I got my hat's off to Angel Studios. Angel Studios is a beacon of light that gets the story out, like this one and other ones. They're doing a lot of things that need to be done, and that they need backing, they need help, and we do this by spreading the word. So after watching this movie, and it was emotional, It wasn't like I broke down and cried. It was because it was done really, like I said, it was really, really well done. And it was based on, two children and getting them reunited with their father. And there were, I believe it was 150 other kids that were rescued during this one procedure that they did, this one ops program. And numerous traffickers were arrested also. But it really, it just, I looked at these kids and I thought, wow, as a counselor and over the years, all of the people that I have counseled, adult people that have suffered trauma from sexual abuse, and most of them were, a family member or somebody that they knew, but there was one person, and those children were still with their family. And I see firsthand the damage that was done by that level of sexual abuse on a child. And it got me to think that, wow, these children are ripped from their lives, abducted in horrific ways, scared to death with strangers, taken to a different country, most cases, and sold and passed around in this lifetime slavery. And it has to stop. It has to stop. Excuse me. So I, as a counselor and someone who studies, mind and human behavior, I was like, wow, the damage. I can't even imagine what it's like for a child that gets saved, gets rescued, what the journey even begins to look like, or what the parents go through. Think about it. I mentioned my grandchildren, and they're young. And, you think about, if you have children, what would it be like to not have them in their bed at night, not knowing where they are? And they touched on this in the movie, and it really is a real thing. And I know a lot of times, you hear about stories in the news, and you're like, oh, the poor thing. And you say a little prayer and you bless them, and you kind of blank it out. You don't even think about it. Ruth said she saw it too, and she said it was a very powerful movie indeed. Yeah, it was. And like I said, I recommend everyone to get out there and see it. But, it's like, I can't even wrap my brain around it. And the one thing that I cannot wrap my brain around is, how can a person be so evil, so to the core evil, that they can look at a young, beautiful child and have those types of thoughts? So, I believe that we are all created in love, and that we are that love. But then there are those that are fallen angels, and they fall from the love and the grace. And in Isaiah 14:12, how you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, how you are cut down to the ground. That's these people that steal, buy, abuse these children. So Tiffany has been posting all the links of how you can support them. Hello, Richard. Thank you for joining. How you can support them, things that you can do. You can buy tickets. You can buy tickets for other people. You can donate to Angel Studios or to the production of their movie, or this movie. They have different merchandise. One of the lines from the movie, which really, that totally rings true, is God's children are not for sale. And I just ordered one of the t-shirts from Angel Studios to help support, plus get the word out. You wear the shirt, you're walking advertisement. I want to make a note. The other day, I guess it was yesterday, I was scrolling on Facebook, and there was an ad for the t-shirt, but it wasn't through Angel Studios. There are people out there that are selling these shirts that are similar or like the ones that the studio is selling, but it's a different company. So please be very mindful and do your research of making sure that you get it through Angel. So the best way to do it is not to click an ad and order anything. If you want to, go right to Angel, angel.com. Like I said, Tiffany has posted the links. She posted the link to buy the tickets. You can click to their homepage, and then you can see where they have their merchandise, and then you can purchase through there. Whatever you can do, share the links, do whatever you can, because this is really horrific. And it blows your mind to see how much of this has gone on. And now I went to globalresearch.ca, and there's an international labor organization, and they estimate that there is 40.3 million victims of human trafficking globally. 49.6 million people were living in modern slavery in 2021, of which 27.6 million were based in forced labor, but then there was the 22 million that were for, forced marriages and sex and the young people. So that's a lot. And then there's the UNODC's 2020 global report on trafficking in persons. It was compiled using official figures from over 148 countries, and 1 in every 3 victims detected is a child. Girls are mainly trafficked for sex exploration, while boys are used for forced labor. You hear about all these missing persons, and over the years, there were pictures on the milk cartons and things like that. This is where the children go for the most part. I mean, there's other cases, but the majority of them are robbed from their lives and forced into this slavery, this modern day slavery, and the country's so upside down, tearing down statues and fighting all this stuff that doesn't matter. And these children are being robbed from their lives and from their families and from their homes. So children account for 27% of all human trafficking victims worldwide. And 2 out of every 3 children are the victims are girls. Children are often trafficked for commercial sexual exploration or for labor, such as domestic servitude, agricultural work, and farming, and those types of things. It's disgusting. It's really, truly disgusting. And as a good, loving, kind person, as I said earlier, it's really hard for us to see this and understand it. There's a lot of evil in this world, but this to me is the epitome of evil. Ruth says, it's mind-blowing that this is happening in this day and age. Yeah, and there are a lot of other things that are mind-blowing. And I just, like I said, there's things that, because we're so censored in this country, which is also disgusting, where's the freedom of speech, that there are things I would like to talk about today and other days, because there's other topics, but you can't, because I won't have a show if I do that. I'll get knocked off the platform. But I am going to tell you that child sex trafficking brings in $34 billion of revenue a year. It is more than what the drug cartel brings in. So this is more money than drugs. It's like, stop the drugs, and forget about it. We used to worry about our kids getting turned on to drugs. How about keeping our kids safe home with their parents, with their families, where they belong? So this is really has become a real problem. So the children trafficked at the U.S. borders. Now that the borders are all open, I'm not going to really go to how that all came about, but we all know 85,000 kids go missing because they're unattended. The borders are wide open. And then there's a whistleblower, Tara Lee wrote, as I don't know if I'm saying her name right. She told at the Congressional House Judiciary Committee on April 26, 2023, that the United States federal government has become the middleman in the multi-billion-dollar human trafficking operation targeting unaccompanied minors on the southern borders. So if that doesn't shake you to the core, then you better readjust what is important to you, because that's our future. They are children. We are here to protect children. Children aren't just born into the wild to figure it out themselves. They have adults that are supposed to be protecting them, and they are not. And it's sickening. And the number of pedophiles that are in this world, I was going to say this country, but it is really the world, and it's disgusting. And things aren't always what they seem. They're not what they appear. You know, we look at people, we have a tendency of glorifying, you know, Hollywood or sports, professional ball players, and I'm not lumping everyone in on this, but it's a lot of the people that are higher ups. When you think about that case with, I don't even know if I could say his name, who so-called hung himself while he was in prison. I'm sure everybody knows who I'm talking about. And the list of guests on that island and the things that happened there, and it all kind of went away. And why does this happen? Because it's those people that are in places of power with money that are hushing things. And Disney was one of the people that really prevented this movie from going out, because I think they actually had this movie and wouldn't put it out there. I don't know the full backstory on how that all came about, but the movie actually was done several years ago before Angel Studios got it out there. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, please do your research. And like I said, if you're going to donate to Angel Studios, to the Sound of Freedom, or anywhere, make sure you do your research, that you're going right to where it's supposed to go to donate, because there is so much scamming going on in the world. Hi, Kathy. She said, I would love to go get them and bring them to safety with me. Wouldn't we all, you know? And that Tim, the federal agent, I can't remember his last name. I think Tiffany had posted it, the one who the story, it's Tim Ballard. Yes. His wife even said, go get them, go save them. And, you know, there is good in this world, and we have to put that out there as well. It's where our attention goes, that's where the energy flows. So if we put attention on rescuing and saving these children and making this a billboard of commonality that people see and know what really exists out there, and not just what is censored and allowed to be presented in the world, then we will make the change. This is how you create the ripple effect, the ripple effect of protecting our young, giving that awareness. And that's why I chose to talk about this topic today, although it's not, you know, the uplifting, happy stuff that I usually talk about. But I will change things a little bit as the show goes on. But you know, we all know children, whether they're our own children or nieces, nephews, cousins. Um, we all know children, and we see the innocence in these children, and we have to get the word out. So I ask you all to please reach in and send whatever you can to help them. Tiffany says the truth isn't always pretty, and no, it's not. And we really need to look at the truth, and the truth needs to be exposed. And there's a lot of untruths that we are being fed in the world today. So it's really time to dig deep and look, and really look and do your research. Where is this information coming from? Is it a source that can be trusted? Because everything is so censored and so upside down. And it's just disgusting. And like I was saying about the scammers, being in the business I'm in, and that I do things remotely and I work with people all over. And, if you wanted to send me a donation, you could do it through Venmo. So everything is, all electronic. Most of my clients are over the phone, or it's everything I get is through the electronic means of payment, which I'm not a fan of, but that's what I have to do. And it's insane. The scamming and the things that I have to go through. Just recently, my Venmo was closed. They froze my account, and I was at Karma Fest. I was at a live event, so I was collecting payment all day long, and my Venmo was shut down. So it was the weekend. They weren't open on Sunday because it was Saturday, Sunday. It happened on Saturday. So I changed my password and I uploaded the stuff. But of course, I couldn't get my thing back on. Thankfully, I have other means of receiving payment. But I found out on Monday that someone ordered a Venmo Visa card through my account somewhere. They caught it, but it created, trouble for me. Like I had to deal with all that stuff. And it was like, because someone was trying to rip me off. And it's just, if you're that smart and you can figure out how to do these things, why not put it to good? Why not help humanity? Why hurt humanity? I'll never understand it. I mean, and the scams are getting, better and better. So again, please just be mindful and know where your money goes. Watch what you're doing. We've watched our information and encrypted things, but they're getting so good. They're understanding all that as well. And sometimes it's not just the scammers out there. There's other companies and big organizations that want to control everything that's going on in our personal lives. So we got to wake up, people, and let's first wake up and help these children. It's very, very important to me. Ruth says there was something they showed at the end. I don't remember how it was worded, but it was about how the majority of these trafficked children end up in the U.S. Well, yes, and that was at the end after the credits. So if you do go see the movie, stay until after the credits so you can hear that. And it gives all the statistics. And the thing about the U.S., it kind of throws up, those red flags about what I was talking about these bigwigs and these people with all this money. They're the ones buying the children. They are the ones that are wrapped in this ring of pedophilia. So that's why it's all hush hush, because they don't want to lose that, their little sick game that they play, and the control. When you see adults in public hanging over little children and getting close in and doing things that are not really appropriate, I wonder how far that goes. And maybe some of you know where I'm directing that also, but there is a lot out there, and it is very sick. So to get back about the donating, if you don't have the money to donate, or if you don't have the money to buy a ticket to go see the movie, you can go to the links that Tiffany has put out there and get free tickets, because people that can afford can buy the tickets, extra tickets for people that can't go, which is something that I did. I know Tiffany did. You just do it if you can, because that's what it's about. It's about spreading what you got, putting it out there, helping these children any way you can. It's very sad, and I wish I could really say the things that I want to say. But again, like I said, the censorship. I like having my show. I want to keep my show. So I'm very limited. But I like that Ruth brought that up, that they end up in the U.S. So you do the math. You figure that out. Why do they end up in the U.S.? And Tiffany just added that link about buying the tickets or get free tickets. So I was so happy to see how well the movie did on their opening day on 4th of July. I forget exactly the amount that they brought in, but it was very, very happy. And when I saw it last Thursday, the cinema, the theater was full. So a lot of people are getting out there. The word's getting out there. So we don't need big Hollywood. We don't need that. We the people are uniting, standing true, and doing the right thing. And it's with the children, the modern day slavery, but it's also with all the other corruption that's occurring. We are uniting, and we will prevail. Good always prevails. It may not feel that way at times, but it really does. What's right will be exposed, and what's wrong will be exposed, and what's right will overcome. And we just have to really, truly have that faith. And we're, most of us that are on, listen to the show, and myself, we are metaphysicians. So by being a metaphysician, we manifest things. So we do that with visual and feeling and knowing. And that's what we have to put out there. We have to visualize these children being protected, being saved, that this horrific trafficking crime stops, that these evil people are caught. And we put that vibration out there. We see it, not just see it, not just say it, but we feel it and trust it and know it, that we are saving them by creating this powerful energy, this ripple effect, saying our prayers, adding all the people that are out there doing this work, like Tim Ballard and other agents that are out there fighting for these children and other crimes against humanity, that they have the strength and they continue to fight the fight, and they get this done, because there are so many crimes against humanity right now, that it just blows our mind. But this is the great wake up. This is, there's people are saying we're going into the new world order, and I think we're evolving to the next level. We are ascending, and we're returning back to the life that our creator intended. And unfortunately, we got really down in the depths of the murky, mucky yuck. But it's for us, some of us, to really wake up. The impact of this intensity needed to be this high. So just keep that in mind, and keep those vibes, and see it, pray for it, know it, visualize it, and make it happen. Spread the word and share. So with that being said, I am going to take a break, and then after the break, I'm going to talk a little bit about some more uplifting things. And then if anybody's on and you want a message, since I'm alone, I will happily give you a message. But right now, I'm going to take a break. Be back in a few minutes, seconds, or whatever it is. Okay, so I'm back, and I've cleared a little bit of the energy from all that heaviness, and I want to talk a little bit about, I mentioned that, things aren't always as they appear, and it's not just, that real heavy stuff, but it's just everything in our lives, and what we see and what we believe in, and how we've been programmed to think, and we really have been programmed. I've talked about this many times. It's not just in the programming of how we really think about ourselves, because we are truly a product of programmed beliefs, whether it's our parents or teachers or groups that we might have been in as children. But we are so programmed on our belief system. If you were raised, I was raised Catholic, if you were raised in a certain dogma religion, that belief system is instilled in you. And it's the same thing of oh, Richard just put in 14 million on July 4th, or 40 million July 4th for the week, and that for the movies earning, that's amazing. So we end up, even our beliefs come from what we have been programmed. So if you live in a household and you're told that money doesn't grow on trees, everything's tight, to do this, do that, then you end up coming from this belief of lack, and when we come from these beliefs of limiting beliefs like lack, that's what we're attracting in, and that's how we spend most of our lives. So we usually end up struggling with finances. We always are worried about money because of that belief. Now, if you were raised in a house where you came from a grateful, abundant kind of lifestyle, then you may not have the same beliefs around money as somebody that came from a home that they struggled and all they saw was struggle. And it was, money doesn't grow on trees, and, you got to watch this and you got to watch that, and you can't do this and you can't do that. So I bring that up because as an adult, we have the choice whether to continue down that road with limiting false beliefs, whether it's about ourself as a person, or things that we believe in. Like, we believe that, God is a bearded man sitting in the clouds, and that's what we believe. Or we don't believe in reincarnation, or we believe in past lives, or we don't believe in past lives. Most of that comes from what we grew up with. So we have to start to really connect to who we are and find out who our soul being is, so we can make those decisions and choose what really resonates with us. What is our true belief? It's really the only way we can discern what is right for us is whether we get to really know who we are and get to meet that divine being. Erica said, "Thank you for sharing. I am now starting to send those kids or protect it and make it back to their families safely." Thank you, Erica, and that's all we can do. Um, so so we have to really take a good hard look at, like, okay, why do I believe this? Is this really me, or is this something that I just believe because I was told to believe it? And that's how you can really discern. And it's even the stuff that we get on social media, on the news, books we read, articles we see. There are so many different ways of receiving information today that it's so vitally important that we clear away our crap, clear away the things we have been programmed to believe. It's true. My truth, my truth may be our truth. So that's why it's a very personal, individual thing. I remember back in high school, back in Catholic high school, I I always thought of it as spirituality, more than a religion. And I always said it's a very personal thing. That connection to source, I choose to call God. And that's probably because of my upbringing, but it works for me. But I don't see God as a bearded man sitting up in the clouds. I see God as an energy that flows through all of us. That's, that soul connection. We're all connected. We're all energy. Um, so, it is a private, very personal thing. My connection is different than someone else's connection. It's everything we go through in this life. As much as we are humans and humans like to interact with other humans, we come in alone, we leave alone. We all the work that we do, that shadow work, is stuff that we do alone. Me as a counselor, as a spiritual counselor, I look at things very differently. I am here to, give tools and assistance to people, but I don't do the work, nor do I tell them what is right or wrong for them. We have conversation. I ask the questions, where is that coming from? You have to ask yourself, why did that emotion appear? I don't know. I know that they need to look at it because there's something somewhere that put that in. It's like the past life regressions. We bring in stuff from past lives. So you might have a fear or a phobia and you can't figure out where that came from because it was programmed in another life. And that comes in. So we're always evolving and we always have to work on ourselves and connect to that divine source and the reading, the reason why we are here. This is the reason, we're here to love, create, and evolve. We are here to ascend. We are here to grow. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining us. So, keep that in mind, because as we get closer to knowing us, it makes it easier to discern. So, like I was saying, make sure you really do your research on where you're getting your information from. When I had my practice in Florida and I was still doing strictly nutrition and supplementation, I would, that you could find a research study that would give you pros and cons for everything. You have to look at who pays for that research study. Where does that come from? Because the outcome of that study is going to be leaning towards those who paid for it. And, a good example of it is the food pyramid. The food pyramid, whatever organization, whether it was meat or dairy, whoever paid for it at the time, got the biggest wedge on the pyramid. It was always changing because it's who pays for it. So it's, that follow the money if you want to get clear on things. People years and years and years ago called me a conspiracy theorist. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I sit home with a tinfoil hat on. I really don't. But my point is, because most of the things that I saw through are coming truth now. So, if you want to say, whatever, I remember with my family when I first started to study natural health, and, one of the courses was about water and the cleanliness of water and the different ways to purify water and the different treatments. And, of course, it's like, water is water. It's like, well, no, because they're adding all this stuff into the water that we really don't need, and it's harmful for us. So Erica said, wow, you're just talking about past lives and phobias was a confirmation. Thank you. You're welcome. I feel like they guide me to talk about things and mention things because there's someone out there that needs to hear it. And Tiffany says, I would rather wear a tinfoil hat than a blindfold. Very good. So would I. So would I. But, there's so many things that are hidden. It's like even I brought up water and natural health and the food and the food sources. And, when you read a label, what's really in it? Do you know how many different names are there for sugar? it's like there was one when I was had my practice and I was doing that. I used to do groups. I actually did weight loss programs in doctors' offices back then, a million years ago. And I would take the group to a supermarket, and because I obviously we shop the perimeter of the store because for your goals and your needs and the things that the staples of life that you need, and only go down the aisles for your toilet paper and the necessities, and maybe like good canned tomatoes, or a few choice items there. When I can't see myself, so I don't know if I'm actually on or if you lost me. So you go down the aisles just for those, few choice items. But I also talk. Thank you, Tiffany, because my screen goes blank and I don't know if you can hear me talk. So I would also teach about reading labels, and one of the rules of thumb is if you can't pronounce it and you don't know what it is, maybe you don't want to eat it. So that is something to really think about. Do you really look at what you're putting in your body? It is truly the mind, body, soul connection. And I kind of got away from the nutrition thing. I do tap on it with certain people that work with me, but because I realized that when you get the spiritual side and you step into your truth, you truly start to have that unconditional love for self, you automatically start to take better care of yourself, take better care of your body temple that houses the soul. You really start to become aware of the things that you do. You want to feel better. It just all lines up right in a row. Longer the list, more trash in it. You're right, Richard. Yeah, and I can't remember who it was. Gabby Bernstein, I think, said that if it was created in a lab, let the lab digest it, because our bodies weren't intended to. And that is so true, so true. And a big part of my clientele were weight loss. And when you really look at why people struggle with weight, a lot of times it really has to do with not what they're eating, it's what's eating them. And we talk about, earlier we were talking about sexual abuse, and a lot of women that carry extra weight carry it because, and I'm not saying everyone, but I've worked with several that keep the weight on to protect them from men being attracted to them because of sexual abuse. Body dysmorphia, body imaging has been something that we've been programmed. The airbrushing of models. Back in the 60s, it was, wafer thin Twiggy. Look at the Barbie doll that we played with as children. The dimensions of there was no possible way that a human could actually even have dimensions like that. So we always were distorted with body image, and it's created such a problem for not just women, because eating disorders happen with men. They have as much body image issues as women. It's just not spoken of. But anorexia. I just watched on YouTube a documentary about the Carpenters, and it's so painful to see what Karen Carpenter went through, and she was so beautiful and so talented, and unfortunately she didn't get the right kind of help, and that she died, I think it was 35 years old. But these things need to be discussed. We need to talk about them and not hide away and think that it's only happening to us, because we've all have had some type of PTSD, some type of trauma at some level or another. And I've shared with you, I was probably one of the worst with body image and overeating, and low self-esteem and self-worth, and very little self-love, and did a lot of self-medicating and going down the wrong road and confusing, lust for love and just trying to find my way. And today I can see why I chose that life, because it gave me a greater compassion and understanding and empathy for the people that I work with today, because I know where they're at. I can honestly say that. When I did personal training, when I shared myself with them, I got more of a response from people because they knew that I truly did understand. I didn't just read about it in some textbook, although I read about a lot of it in textbooks as well, more so I can help people. But and traditional therapy, therapists are not really taught to share their personal stuff with their clients or their patients. And I find that it's probably some of the best ways to help people is to be authentic, to be real. I'm not above anyone. I don't proclaim to be. I am just like everyone else. I'm here doing what I can do. And every day I strive to be better than I was the day before, however that may look. And yes, life sends you curveballs, and you have a better toolbox of how to deal with it. And that's what all we can hope for, and that's part of that evolution. Today I was talking with a client. We were discussing about comfort zones. I'm sure you've all seen um, those pictures of, the circle, you are here and your success is out there. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a comfort zone as much as a familiar zone, because it's not always the best and it's not always comfortable, but it's familiar. So we stay there, because when we step out of the familiar, then it gets uncomfortable. And we don't want to do that, even though life could be better. So it's the same thing with healing and going through the process and rewiring our subconscious and our minds. And recently I have been doing a lot of leveling up, shifting. I was talking to Marcia the other day, and I told her that I feel like I can feel it shifting at a cellular level. I'm really opening up to changing things and doing things differently, and I'm receiving my gifts a little bit different, and they're opening wider. But I have been doing more guided meditations, and I found some really good ones that Dr. Joe Dispenza has on YouTube. And I bought these Bluetooth. It's like a headband, but it covers your eyes when you sleep. So it's like a mask, and it's got the headphones in it. I can't even tell you where I bought it, but I love it, because then during the day when I do the meditation, I can put that on and cover my eyes, so I'm like in darkness, and really listen and not get disturbed by anything else. So if you could probably Google those, but they really work. And plus the fact, if I want to do something like affirmations as I go to sleep at night, they're comfortable to sleep in, even for a side sleeper like myself. So I don't know if anybody on here has anything that they would like to ask or want to get a message. I don't think people are so programmed that I don't do messages, that they're not on here asking for them anymore. But when I do my show alone once a month, I will be happy to do messages for those who want it. But I really feel that my show is more important about getting information out on a whole. And I have some really great guests lined up for August, and I'm starting to line up people for September. I'm very excited about it, and I hope that everyone enjoys that I do have guests, and I don't just do things for my, talk about things that I believe in. I like to, plus I learned from them, like I had Lauren last week, but she does the tropical Western astrology. And August 1st, I have Lizabetta, she's Astro Devi. She does Vedic astrology. Now, I never even knew there were all those different types of astrology. So I'm fascinated by it. I am going to have her on August 1st. And then I believe it's the last week in August, I'm having Nave. She's in Florida. I had met her in she's in Hawaii. I met her in Florida many years ago. She moved to Hawaii before I moved out of Florida. But she's a wandering witch. That's her business name, I guess you would say. She's very gifted, but she does actual sky astrology. So it's like everything shifts, everything moves. So she looks at the sky, where it's at the present. And that's why I think if anybody saw, they were changing horoscope signs because everything shifts. So I can't wait to have her on the show. I hope she talks about that. I kind of leave it open to the guests of the topic that they want to talk about. We talk before, but I also like to hear their story of how they got to where they are, the things that they had to heal. Things like, hi Lou, better late than never. Erica would love to have a message. Okay, Erica, give me a minute. Let's see. So the first thing that came through, Erica, was the it's time to spread your wings. It's like you have been in the crystalist stage long enough, and to clear the self-doubt and spread your beautiful wings. There's a lot of change coming your way. A lot of when I say change, they're correcting me that it's opportunities are going to come forth, but it's as soon as you open up to spreading your wings and knowing that you are worthy of that, then you will start to receive that. I don't know you. I don't know what is going on, but I feel like there is things that you dwell on from the past, and it's time to free yourself of that. And the card that popped out was emotional loss, and that's why I said it. I really do feel that there's things that you hang on to from the past, and that's not helping you to move forward. So I hope that makes a little sense to you. Like I said, I don't know you. So and another one, I'm doing a divine direction, and it's funny because this one popped out, and it's decide. It's time for you to make a decision. Call upon your spirit guides for help. So that's kind of like what I said. I don't know, the wrong way. I'm dyslexic on this thing. So it's like I said, it's like when you open up, you're allowing the spirits to give you what you need. So I hope that helps you along the way. But really pay attention, because there's going to be some opportunities coming your way, for sure. Okay, Kristen said she would like something. All right, let's see. So first thing I got was like spinning. And then it was like the squirrel in the road, Kristen. You're like all over the place. You've got to calm your thoughts down. Stay in the moment. Pull yourself in. It's like you want to go in 50 million directions at once. You're welcome, Erica. And it's like you really have to ground and connect and center yourself, because you're bouncing all over the place. The energy is like that squirrel in the road kind of energy. As soon as you tap into that silence and connecting and meditate, you're going to get your answers. You're going to know. It's like they're showing you the direction, but you're running around trying to open up closed doors, things that don't serve you. You can't. Kristen, she said it's so true. You can't, force your life to be what you think it should be. And there's a part of you that's doing that. It's like by now you want to be where you think you should be, and instead of flowing with the divine and allowing them to show you, your guides, the angels, to give you that direction and show you where you want to go. It's and the reason that you're all over the place is because you don't know what it is that you want to do or where you want to be. You said crystal and clear. Those words are in the name of my healing business. And I said crystal, and it's Kristen. Oh, because your last name is Crystal. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's like, so Kristen, it's like you don't know where you want to be or what it is that you want to do. And the card that came out for you is so perfect because passion, ignite it. And your passion can't ignite until you figure out, you allow and get in touch with your soul person, soul being, so you know what that passion is. Because you're looking outside and you're all over the place, so you're not centered and grounded in source, in your divine direction. And once you slow down, that will open up for you, and then that passion will ignite. I'm going to see what the divine direction cards have for you. I'll give you one of those. So as I tell my grandson, slow your roll, Kristen. You know, it's really, you're going to get there, but you have to just allow. You can't make things the way they are, or the way you believe that they should be, I should say. Affirm, create your own affirmations. Think of words or phrases that inspire you and write them down. So also with the affirmations and writing them down, you know, Post-it notes are wonderful because you could put Post-it notes anywhere, you know, on the dashboard of your car, on your bathroom window or bathroom mirror, so you can continue to remind yourself. Yes, I've heard that before. I have to let go. Yeah, there's something that you're really clinging on to from the past, and it's like, I feel like it's an anchor chained to you, and you're just kind of dragging it along, and you're not freeing yourself. So thank you for putting that reminder up there that I will be on vacation the rest of July. I'm very excited. I am doing, for the first time, I'm actually really, I blocked out, I'm going on vacation. I'm not doing any readings, clients, from the 18th to the 31st. I usually go and visit my grandkids, and the first thing my granddaughter will say, Mima, do you have clients? Because I end up going up and locking myself in the bedroom and working from there. So I want to thank you all, and remember to support the Sound of Freedom. Get the word out, do what is best for you. And thank you, Kristen. I'm planning on having a great time. I even bought roller skates. I'm going to get out there and roller skate, which will be interesting. I haven't skated in a while, but I have a lot of experience. So I see myself getting on there and just being like, I never got off, like riding the bicycle, which I do regularly. So many blessings. You all enjoy the rest of your July, and I will see you August 1st with Elizabetta, my guest, who I can't wait to have on, like all of them. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your support, and be well. I will have a great time. Thank you so much, Erica. Thank you to all the YouTube listeners, the Twitter, Rumble, wherever you're listening from. I wish you all a safe rest of July, and I will see you all in August. Be well, and say your prayers, and give gratitude, and count your blessings. We all have them. Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.